Above their heads, stealing for all to see. El Cachorro, El Cachorro. There's a dawn superheroes here today for you and me. El Cachorro, El Cachorro.
Welcome to another El Cachorro Monarch Legacy of Monsters video. We're going to do another double shot episode since I didn't get around to making an episode 5 video. So we're coming off of, or episode 6 video, so episode 5 was, well, I guess, my worst episodes of the series so far. Really slowed down. We got a lot of Kate's backstory. It was blah. Run through San Francisco was kind of cool. Some Godzilla flashbacks here and there, but it was more of a filler episode. So, we needed to pick me up. And I think episode 6 delivered that. We get the double storylines, the 50s storyline with a current day storyline, which has always been where these episodes have been at their finest. Everyone's favorite monster gets a couple shots of appearances in this. And this was a very solid episode. It bounced right back up. I'd give this episode maybe 8.5. 8.5, somewhere in that area. It was a really solid episode. Two very interesting storylines. Let's go into it. So like I said, we have we got what starts off as the military ball episode with them trying to get funding for Monarch, as well as going back and forth, where we have our modern day people ended up going to the Sahara Desert. So the episode, they keep going back and forth throughout the episode, but we'll just go through each one as it is as the full story. So the 50s storyline is somewhere in the mid-50s. So I can't remember if it was 54, 55, something like that. So they open at this military ball, and Shaw's all decked out, and he grabs a fruity drink and starts drinking, which I thought was an interesting touch. That everybody else drinking the champagne, he grabs some kind of fruity drink. Then the doctor shows up, all decked out in a nice fancy gown that she can, uncomfortable as hell because that's not what she's used to doing. Talking about how they have to rub up shoulders with some of the big wigs to get funding and stuff like that. And she meets a couple of the generals, and the one thing, or somebody's like, "Oh, that's a Japanese name," and hey, she's one of the good ones. So, showing that the general is an a-hole, sort of, kind of an a-hole, sort of, I guess. So at the ball there, we finally get the hint that these two get close, and we kind of see the romance that was vaguely hinted at in the first episode, to the point where they almost hook up, and then get blocked by Bill Randa, who sends a telegram, because there's picking up some big gamma spikes, Titan spikes, in Japan. And that they have to go check it out. And was it this episode? Probably not. Maybe. So Shaw wants to go with them, but then they have a budget meeting coming up that he can't go because Shaw's like, well, we have this big budget briefing we got to do to get budgeting, or we don't show up for that. So the professors, our two scientists say, well, let's divide and conquer. You stay here and do that. That's your thing. Let us go do what we need. We need proof of a Titan to get funding. So they go off to Japan. He stays behind. Where they go to Japan, we meet another scientist. Funny little exchange between the two. And he's built this big Titan device that sends out a signal that attracts Titans. So it's like a Titan bomb, Titan bait. They kind of called it two different things there. with the hopes of drawing out whatever they're picking up sensors from. And so they put it out in the middle of the water to attract the Titan. They do a call back to Shaw, who's all panicking because now he's got feelings for her, and he's worried about her safety. So he even goes and sees the general because he wants to about it, and he wants to go with it. And the general's like, "Hey, this is your spot. If you want to run a Monarch, be in charge of Monarch, you need to know how to rub shoulders and do the paperwork kind of stuff, and realize that people, send pretty much have military. You can send military people. You don't have to be there, kind of thing. You make a decision. You going to be the leader, or you going to just do your own thing, kind of much." So next thing we know, Shaw shows up in Japan, and they're all she's kind of upset that he's kind of showed up. I was like, "Why are you doing here?" He's like, "Feelings can't get in the way. Our work is more important." And they're having this little romantic chat on the beach, and next thing they know is they don't hear the little bomb device thing going off anymore. And then it's gone. Then all of a sudden it comes shooting out of the water. It almost takes them both out. And that leads us to the reemergence of Godzilla. So he comes out of the water, does a little swim by, and they realize that he didn't die from the nuclear bomb, and that, he survived a nuclear blast. So Shaw's kind of like, "Oh my god," worried. Meanwhile, the other two are like, "Hell yeah, he's alive, baby! Yeah, they didn't kill him." So they're all excited. And this storyline pretty much concludes. They go back to, was it Washington? I don't know wherever the home base was. It may have been Washington. I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember. And one of the other big general guys is now kind of taken over, and now is in charge of Monarch because Shaw took off and missed the budget meeting and stuff like that. So he pretty much cost them their ability to run on their own. So now, obviously, he now realizes, he screwed up. He let his feelings get in the way. And now, the rift. This maybe because obviously when we get to the part where there's kind of like she's now with Bill, and this might cause a little bit of rift between them because now they wanted to keep everything secret so they could kind of run some things behind people's back and stuff like that. But now another military guy's running the show. So that's for that story. So that's a pretty cool storyline. Like I said, the past stuff's always been the better storyline. We see where Shaw has had a bit of a screw up. Our two scientists now are in issues because now Monarch has been taken over by a military person. Our current day storyline. So they found their map in San Francisco. They know the next part is the desert. When they go back to Kate's mom's house, Shaw's there with our French chick, who in the last episode I didn't catch this part, says she was the sister of Bryan Cranston's wife from the 2014 movie. I didn't put that together in that breakdown. And she jumps side because now she's all about stopping the Titans, and Shaw's says he's trying to create another G event, and that they have the means to take them wherever they need to go. So they all decide to buddy together again to go to the desert. And we have another part where Shaw and Kate kind of feel like they're kind of sort of like they're almost like bonding. He's having like, "Oh, here I am with another one of those random women." Flashbacks obviously to the grandma. And then we have May and the French chick talk about their deal that she's supposed to like get her out of trouble so she can go back home. It says, "Hey, you continue your part of the deal, we'll do your part of the deal. I'll do my part if you do your part." So they end up meeting up with some other of Monarch's people that have turned on Monarch, and Kate's getting all flipped out. She don't want to work with Monarch, blah, blah, blah. Monarch's this and that. So they follow the coordinates on the map, and they find their father, Granted, he's really far in the distance. He's got a pickup truck with a makeshift, smaller version of the Titan bomb thing that he's setting off. And they don't get the joyous reunion because I guess as he sees them, he's telling them to get out of there, get out of here, get out of here, waving them off. As he gets in the truck and takes off, at that point, a helicopter with Tim and Monarch people come up around the edge, finding Shaw. They're like, hell yeah, we got him. All of a sudden, the ground shakes. And out of the ground, buried in the ground, doing a fantabulous entrance is Godzilla, who was taking a nap there under the dirt. Godzilla versus Mothra-ish, or the Thing for some people. So Schooley shakes, starts rocking the ground, and then all the dust clears in a spot where he opens his eyes. He's looking right at Kate, and kind of like they kind of make it feels like they kind of make a connection. Then he just kind of just rises up, shakes all the dust. As he's getting up, his back spines clip the helicopter, causing it to crash. Shakes everything off, just turns around, walks off, because that's just Godzilla thing, man. Say, I don't care. He's like, you guys woke me up. I'm out of here. He's like, where that bomb, Titan bomb thing went off and got my attention, and how he got there, who knows? How no one caught him going to the middle of the desert and laying down, who knows? Guess he used one of the little rift things. So he just walks off like nothing. Shaw and them pretty much say that everybody in the helicopter died. And they're going off after Godzilla and after the dad. The kids don't want anything to do it, and that's where Shaw goes like, I'm here to help Godzilla. Stop G-Day from coming. I'm working with... So it's kind of like he's like on this plan with Godzilla. He realizes Godzilla is the good guy, and he's trying to help Godzilla stop something. Trying to help Godzilla. So kind of going to where we see where Monarch is in the next movie, King of the Monsters, where they believe Godzilla is, needs to be protected. Of course, Kate and them are like, oh my god, how can you do that? He's blah, 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 this and that and that. And so they kind of split and go their own ways. He takes the map, keeps the map, and goes chasing after. So it's supposed to be chasing after Godzilla. Tells the kids there they go that way and they're going to run into civilization where they can get an airplane. That's where that episode. That's where that storyline is. That one was for the modern day stuff. I thought that was actually a pretty decent storyline. Like I said, we get the Shaws break off the vision of Monarchs is starting to sound like the Monarch that we know from the King of the Monsters movie, instead of the Monarch that's kind of looks like this evil bad organization that they've kind of looked like most of the season. But it's going to get more right till we get the next episode. That gets really confusing now. Like I said, it's a pretty solid episode. We got a couple scenes with awesome scenes with Godzilla. So just pop it up doing Godzilla things. Just pop it up. Hey, what's up? I'm out. Solid episode. Really enjoyed this one. The next episode, we're hoping we're on an upswing. It's not terrible. It does come back down a little bit. It's the May episode, so we had the Kate episode, which was obviously the big kind of filler blah episode. So this is the May episode, so we get her backstory. She's a whatever character. I mean, we're bringing something new into it. But a lot of the current day stuff that's going along with it, though, was actually pretty interesting. It opens up with Tim coming out of the dirt, so he survived the helicopter crash. Because you can't kill Tim. We gotta have Tim. Pretty sure. I hope I got that. It's Tim, right? Yeah. So it starts with him waking up, and then we see May in an airport bathroom, and a couple goons walk in, and suppose they're kidnapping her. I thought maybe the French chick whose name I can't think of was living up to her part of the deal of returning her, but I'm not quite sure that's what happened there. So the kids are trying to find her in the airport and they can't find her. They run in, and then Tim kind of staggers his way in because I guess the first thing he found coming out of the desert was the airport. So he's tired and dehydrated and trying to get water and stuff like that. Would have thought he may have found something else before the airport, but hey, whatever. You got to keep that helps the story out, right? Convenience. He found the airport first, I guess, before he found a place to get a drink. So So they keep accusing him of kidnapping May. And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just need water. So these are them having a conversation and trying to paint how he's painting Monarch as not evil. Hey, I worked with your father. He was trying to keep G-Day from happening, and so now he's coming off kind of as a good guy, not knowing what Maze did, and said he didn't know what the deal May struck with his partner was, and his partner, and that him and his partner are having the problems, which we never saw where that came from. That we never saw where she turned on him. She just boom went to rescue Shaw, and she was gone. So we never saw where the rift was between these two. So that just happened off screen. So he agrees to help them try and find May, and then he'll use Monarch's resources to help him do that if they kind of work together with him to stop, with G-Day and their father and Shaw. So let's handle May's backstory. So what we find is May's backstory is her name is Cora. She was a hacker that lived in Tacoma, Washington. We don't really see anything about her hacker stuff, but we find out she's getting recruited by someone over this fancy dinner to come join their company. And then throughout, we find out what the company is. She thought she was going to start off with some, they're paying her a lot. Supposedly they're highly paying her, but she thought she was going to get some high tech fancy job right off the bat. And they said, hey, no, you're more of an intro level for right now. You got to work your way up. Anything you create though is ours. Like the code, I guess that they hired her for, they claim that now is their code. And she mentions there's another hacker there and a Candy Crush player and some other high-tech people, people from the high-tech community working there. It's a organization called AET. And, well, I guess she gets kind of frustrated that they aren't giving her anything. I mean, it's kind of showing her character a little bit. You just got the job. Of course, they're not going to put you on a high-level project right away. I mean, duh. But her ego, obviously, is her ego. So she starts hacking the system. She finds something called about some cybernetic interface, and she, of course, uses that to give herself to break in the access code so she can break into the secure laboratory basement thing, where she saw that they were putting something on monkeys and stuff like that. Because any hacker can just easily just do that, where they can just walk into things. That's Hollywood for you. So it ends up being she does some kind of computer virus that shuts down the whole company, erases all kinds of their information, and that's what sets her off into hiding. Is that she just pretty much wiped their millions of dollars of research and years of research out of. Was it because she was upset about they were testing on monkeys, or what they were doing, or if it was because they weren't giving her a high level job thing? It's not really very clear on what made her turn on them. Kind of sounded like it may have been just her pride, maybe. So that's what set her into running. So that's her, pretty much her backstory. It's whatever. The only thing, I mean, it's just the intro to get us to another possible bad guy into the picture here, which we'll talk about more in a second. So Tim and them are now in Washington, and they go to May. It was where he tells them that May's real name is Corey. Our background check said her real name is Corey. They go visit her family, and act like they're friends that she made for manga, and which were this was the cool part was her. The sister's kind of on to him like, yeah, what kind of manga? And everybody, so they obviously Kate's kind of like, oh shit. But then Tim's like, oh well, this and 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 this, and goes through a whole bunch of different ones. So I guess obviously manga is his thing. So he was able to support some stuff off. I guess the kind of sound viable, even though the fact that there's some old dude with two young kids coming looking for their daughter, for the person's daughter. So as they're leaving, they see the sister kind of take off. and they just happen to get in a car and follow her because that's because you obviously got to push the story along. It's like that's kind of it's like so as soon as you're getting in the car, the sister immediately takes off to go somewhere, which doesn't even make sense where the sister was planning on going. Because she kind of lured them. She obviously knew they were following her, so it almost was a trap by the sister to get them to lure her. She knew they would follow her or something. But that's where she kind of tells them kind of what happened. That she's running the run from a massive corporations after her for what she did. So that's where they kind of figure it out. So then they use Monarch's resources to find out that Cora was spotted by the cameras going into AET's office building. So now it looks like maybe they were the ones that came and kidnapped her from the airport. And not. So she's in the office pretty much saying like, hey, we keep things in-house. You need to work for us, or else you're going to need a lawyer because you're going to be in serious trouble. And then also my mother kind of doing this chat. Tim triggers the Muto warning system, so people start panicking, so they can use that to sneak into the building, because it's not easy to sneak into buildings, big government, fancy corporation buildings. So it's pretty much the chick that's been the company saying, "You're going to need a lawyer. We're going to throw everything at you and come at you hard, or you can use your connections to Monarch and get us Titan information because the Titan information stuff that could help us and develop stuff." So pretty much setting her up to be, a spy again. Because that's kind of it goes with May's character here. So as they're walking up the steps, the chick looks like, "Oh, hi, Cora's friends," and just walks off. And just lets Cora walk out, and they're like, "Are you free to go? You're just free, just like that? Okay." So that's what Cora kind of is, push them away kind of things. Like, I was using you guys just to try and get out of my own troubles. This is my real name. I was in trouble with this company. I was trying to use your dad's files because I thought I could use them to get myself out of trouble. Kind of pretty much sounds like she's not going to be the spy. She's telling them to go away. I don't want anything to do with you. So they kind of they leave. They got their answer from her. They leave. She goes in the chick's office. "Oh, you made your decision, huh? Blah, blah, blah." So when they leave, Monarch's waiting for them and gets them all and puts them in the car. Starts yelling at them, telling Kate that you're going home. Next time you get in our way, we're arresting you. Blah blah blah. Kind of playing the evil organization. Oh, we haven't got the Shaw yet. I forgot about bringing up Shaw. So meanwhile, all this is going on. We have our Alaskan outpost, where our chick that was in the trailer that picked up the Alaska Rift is now working with people at that outpost, where Shaw and a bunch of his guys just come in because these Monarch bases have very terrible at security. I mean, we already saw what happened in the Monster Zero base, the Mothra base and the Monster Zero Ghidra base. So they just kind of walk in. It's like, "Hey, well, everyone's free to leave, but we're about to lock down the place and take over and all this stuff." Meanwhile, the chick that was there, she went to the bathroom, of course, at this time, was able to run outside and give them a call that what was going on. And then supposedly Shaw just took off with tons of explosives. And says, "I'm trying to stop another G-Day from happening," and da-da-da. And not really clear if he's still on the side of Godzilla or not, and why they just went from the desert. I thought they were following Godzilla, now they're back in Alaska. But okay. But now, back to where the kids are in the car with the chick that leads one mark. I don't know, some of these names are hard to remember. And makes the same deals like, "Hey, you get May out of, free from this company." And it's like, "Look, we found our dad and Godzilla without your help. Work with us." And the big thing brought up was like, "Well, we shouldn't have treated them like criminals. We could have worked with, they're doing all this without us." And so she kind of gives them this, "Hey, we'll work with you if you help her get out." So the chick kind of goes back to so the main Monarch person goes in and gets them to release May. I don't know what they gave her. I mean, supposedly cost them millions of dollars, so I don't know did Monarch pay them off or just demand that they release her or whatever. Unclear. But she's supposedly the free and clear. So, yeah. So, they're going to work with the kids, and then they kind of talk about what should we do about the, about the early detection thing. She's like, oh, our PR team will handle that. We got to take care of the Shaw problem. And Ted's like, well, actually, I think you should come out and do the PR. This is where Monarch should come out into the open and stop being in the dark, in the shadows. So then she comes out, and then she tells the whole public what Monarch is, and that it was a false alarm of their testing of the early Muto warning system. She actually mentioned them as Mutos instead of Titans, even though you have been calling them Titans in the show. So she didn't officially move to the new term Titans yet. So she did the whole debuting of, hey, this is what we are. We're here to protect people and all that stuff. So this getting closer to the King of the Monsters kind of thing with Monarch out in the open. So this whole episode kind of made Monarch kind of turn where they're kind of the good guys. It's kind of like the Monarch that we know from King of the Monsters a little bit. From there, we go back to the AET boss lady, and she's on She's on the phone with her big boss, and we find out that they're actually Apex Cybernetics, the people behind Mechagodzilla. So now they're entering. So this is their introduction to the MonsterVerse, where they first show up. So whatever in 2015 is when they started doing their thing here. So now and they mentioned that if she continues with her part of the deal, so hopefully, as long as she can, continues her part of the deal. So hinting that May is still a spy, is supposed to be trying to get Titan information. So, which I thought looked like she rejected that deal, but maybe didn't reject that deal. But okay, not. So May might be a spy still. So which we see May come. So then we see May decide now meet the brother and sister at the car. That she wants to go with them to help them with helping Monarch find Shaw and stop him. Because now Shaw supposedly is the bad guy, and Apex may be a bad guy. So this episode is kind of about everybody kind of like really, really weirdly switching sides. Then we end with Shaw in Alaska as they're setting up explosives around the rift opening. And they set off the first batch, which causes our little ice dragon guy to come out. And he's getting ready to take out a helicopter when they set off the second explosion, which takes him up. And it kind of creates this tornado effect where the rift closes. And that's pretty much where the episode ends, that Shaw's able to close one of the rifts. I guess to stop Titans from emerging. Which I don't think, some of the Titans are supposed to already be here, so I don't think they all just come out of the rifts. The rifts are supposedly, I would assume, are connections to the Hollow Earth. So I guess maybe this is where they're kind of realizing they're Hollow Earth things, but I'm not quite sure. So that's where the episode ends. So a lot of weird twist stuff going on. May's backstory is kind of whatever. I give the episode maybe a 7. I saw some people trying to say it was the worst. I saw somebody tweet out it was the worst episode of the series. I still think 5 was worse than this. I mean, outside of just have to deal with May's backstory, which, like I said, she's not. I mean, Kate's kind of a back and forth character. You like her, you hate her. You like her, you hate her. May's kind of not been very likable most of the season. She's always kind of been the character, and traitors. Now, in the last couple episodes, has been, is she a traitor? A spy? But a lot of the other interesting stuff, we get Apex brought into the thing. We see Shaw's kind of doing something weird. We see Monarch finally starting to feel like a little bit like the Monarch we kind of know from the King of the Monsters, who were not an evil organization. So, like I said, it wasn't. I didn't hate this episode. Like I said, I thought it was a fine episode. So I thought a lot of the story parts I thought worked for me all right. And we got just the little ice monster thing at the end, so not a lot of monster action in this one. everybody gets on. It's not a show about the monsters, folks. We already knew this going in. That's like the monsters just pop up for cameos here and there in the show, because that's what the organization is searching for. I mean, I think we might get some monster action towards the end with something. Maybe Godzilla takes out some Titan. Maybe he takes out a bunch of these little guys. I thought I saw a clip somewhere of him fighting the flying one, but I haven't seen that episode yet. Then the next episode is the description on it was they have to go stop face down with Shaw. They have to go back to where it all began, which that could be a lot of different things there. We're talking about the Philippines. We're talking about Bikini Atoll. We're talking about where it began in the 50s. We're talking about where G-Day started, where the current day started. That could either be Japan, or it could be San Francisco. So like that. So not quite sure what the all began maybe is. And then also the story was like Monarchs on the brink of collapse, which doesn't make any sense because Monarchs just came out into the open what they are. So don't know how they were on the brink of collapse, but very weird title card for the tease for the next episode. But I think it says about Kate, so I guess there's going to be some kind of Kate focused stuff there. But like I said, it's been a fine show still. So there's episode 5 was still by far like the weakest episode. This episode wasn't great. Like I said, 7, maybe 6.5 if I want to go that far. But it was okay. Definitely kind of back down swing after episode. I thought episode 6 was a very good episode, really strong episode. But we got a couple left to go, so hope see how this ends. Still enjoying it. Pretty good show. And there's our recap. Until I get, hopefully I'll try and get the next episode. I'll get a video for the next episode a lot quicker. Instead of having, so I don't have to do another double one, which is this long. Till next time, Cachorro out.